What's going on, sports fans? Once again, it's K2 the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, where college football is king and the battle cry is War Eagle. But the big story on the plains is basketball. Let me tell you something. These guys from Auburn are riding a 12-game winning streak on into the Final Four. Who would have thunk it? I mean, you're talking about a basketball team who was literally trying to figure out if they could even make it into the NCAA tournament in the mid parts of January. A 3-point shot against Georgia, which led them to a 78-75 victory, all started this particular run for the Auburn Tigers. And, you know, defeating Kentucky 77-71 kind of goes along with the trend of how Auburn has been able to win here of late. One thing that they've honed in on is the rebounding, because if you look at the rebounding for Auburn in the Kentucky game, you're talking about a ratio of 42-38, which is, they closed in on that considering how the rebounding ratio was the first time around, and that 20-point loss to Kentucky the first time around was. So when you think about this, Auburn is really starting to develop as a team. You would have thought with the loss of Chuma Okeke that Auburn would have taken a step back. You know, you look at the field goal percentage. I mean, you know, 40%, not particularly great. But considering how the Auburn Tigers started this particular game, 40% is actually not all that bad. And then the three-pointers started to come around. But the glaring stat of this particular ball game is the fact that Auburn continues their trend of winning the turnover battle. Kentucky committing 14 turnovers, Auburn only 9. Huge for the Auburn Tigers going into the Final Four. First Final Four visit for the Auburn Tigers. Well deserving. This is not, I don't want anybody to insult this Auburn team and say that this is a Cinderella team. No, this is a great basketball team who have finally found how to kind of pull their strengths together to make something happen down the stretch. You're talking about an 12-game winning streak, beating all the blue bloods. You know what I'm saying? Kentucky, Kansas, you know, who was the other one? Kentucky, Kansas. Oh, Kentucky today. Coming within minutes of beating Duke this year. There's no team in college basketball that can say not only have they played all the blue bloods, but when you talk about it, you know, you're talking about beating, you know, Kansas, Duke. I mean, not Duke, but Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina. That's 3. They lost to Kentucky twice, so that's 2. So they're 3-3 against the blue bloods in this season, considering they played Duke in the Maui Classic earlier this year. My hats are off to the Auburn Tigers, and it's not because I am a 2002 Auburn alumnus. It's because this team is playing with a lot of heart and a lot of desire. Once again, it's K2 the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, mostly talking about Auburn football, but now these basketball guys are coming along. Big shout out to Bruce Pearl and how he has pulled this team together. I want you guys to subscribe to my channel, War Eagle.